Awesome job. I just started to feel into how do I want to start this talk, because I'm going to talk about self-care, but more so I'm going to talk about creating peace through different self-care practices. So I thought, why don't we meditate together for a second? You guys down to do just a little grounding exercise? Yes? Okay. So, I am a certified yoga teacher, so don't freak out. I'm not going to take you down some weird pathway. But just uncross your legs if they're crossed and place your feet flat on the floor. When we think of essential oils and the symbolism behind them, we think of nature, we think of trees, we think of rooted, right? Has anyone never meditated before? Ever? A few of you? Okay. So it's the easiest thing ever, just feet flat on the floor, and then scoot your bum back so that you're nice and tight into your seat. Good. And then uncross your arms. This can feel kind of uncomfortable if you're new to meditation, because you almost feel a bit vulnerable. You feel open, but we're going to talk about peace today, and peace comes from here. So we got to get a little vulnerable. Maybe toss your phone away, and then close your eyes. And you might hear noises of people coming in, and that's okay. The whole point of meditation is not to get it right, it's just to be in the moment. So take a deep breath in, open your mouth and exhale. And then do that again, take a deep breath in. Open your mouth and exhale. And then just a few more breaths. Just feeling your center, feeling the seat beneath you. Noticing your breath, tuning into that, really simple. Okay, open your eyes. Yay, we just meditated as a little family. So exciting. That wasn't hard, right? Okay. I felt like I needed to do that for me, but I really, really wanted to do that for all of you as well, because I think it's important. Because like I said, we're going to talk about peace and self-care. What do you think about when you think of self-care? My dad is here, seeing me speak for the first time, and he just asked me, what's your topic? And I said, self-care. And he goes, oh, okay, I guess I'll figure out what that means in a second. So I know different generations, we have different definitions or ideas around what self-care is. So just shout out at me. When you think of self-care, what do you guys think of? Anyone? Exercise. What else? Massage. Rest. I heard something over here. A hot bath. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Okay, awesome. So I want to share with you today a little bit about my story, why I'm here to talk to you about self-care, why I think it's so important. Some of these quote-unquote traditional self-care practices that are becoming more mainstream today. Everyone's talking about the baths and the sleep and the rest and the exercise, but I'm also going to throw in a deeper conversation with you around some emotional and spiritual practices that I believe are really powerful when looking at a self-care practice. And of course, we're going to talk about oils as well. So let's get into this. My clicker is not working. There we go. Okay, so really quickly about me. 7 years ago, my self-care was non-existent. And usually what happens is we open up to the idea of self-care when there's some sort of crisis or trauma happening in our life, or life transition. Maybe a stress. For me, I was in a stressful job. So I was a police officer just outside of Toronto, in Mississauga, Ontario for 5 years. And that job really rocked my world because it created a lot of stress in my body. And so it was at that time when yoga really found me. And actually it was at that time when essential oils found me as well. I found myself perusing in a health food store one day, and I picked up a bottle of lavender, and I had no idea what it was, but I just snagged it and I thought, okay, this looks good. And I used to carry it around on a night shift in my police cruiser, and I used to huff it and smell it. And while everyone else was working out at 2 o'clock in the morning on the police force, I would go and huff my lavender in the quiet room and meditate, just to keep my shit together. Because most of the time I felt like I was kind of losing it with the shift work and things like that. I realized at that time in my life that I'm a very sensitive person, and shift work just did not support the woman I'm here to be, my health, my vitality. So I started practicing yoga. I started seeking out ways to grow in my health and my vitality, and that's really where my journey began. When I would go to bed at night, I used to have these thoughts and ideas around what my life would look like as a mom one day. And I really believe our deeper why, the deeper reason for why we're here, comes to us in some of those maybe moments of transition or struggle. So I would go to bed at night and think, I really want to have a large family one day, but I don't want to do it feeling the way that I feel right now. And maybe some of you can relate, and maybe that's how essential oils found you. Can anyone relate to that? So I set out on a new goal, on a new path, really, to become the healthiest I could possibly be before I had kids one day. And I just had my daughter, Vera, as you can see there on the left, 4.5 months ago. And it's been the most wonderful journey, really, of learning and growing. So, third time's a charm. Let's look at this. What have I learned along my journey? The role of essential oils in self-care. Okay. They teach us how to slow down. Does anyone notice that? They obviously teach us how to take better care of ourselves. What I have found along my journey is that oils have taught me deeper presence in my life. I love walking up to my beautiful wooden oils box, I don't know if any of you do this, and looking at all the pretty stickers and the different colors and going, which oil is calling me right now? Does anyone do this? Yeah, I'm seeing lots of hands. So you can actually flex and grow a new intuitive muscle. We are all intuitive beings. Something I learned along my journey of growing and my emotional health, spiritual health, is that we are all intuitive beings. Our body is speaking to us, and it knows how to guide us to what exactly we need. It's just tuning in and listening to that. So I have found essential oils have really helped me develop and grow and enhance that relationship with my intuition. If you aren't feeling that way yet, it's coming. It's coming. You kind of have to let them work some magic on you, okay? So I want to share with you, as I journeyed from leaving the police force to teaching yoga internationally, and I did some coaching on the side, kind of in the life coaching space, and then doTERRA found me. doTERRA found me, and it was really the perfect vehicle for me. So that's why I started this business. I needed a vehicle to be able to share my passion around self-care. I've learned a few things, and I want to share with you my 6 self-care practices to inspire deeper peace in your life, okay? So number 1, really simple. Really simple. Anyone do this? A weekly detox bath. A weekly detox bath. When I was pregnant, I'm surprised I did not turn into a fish. I was in my bath every single day. It was my safe space. It was my Zen space. Now that I'm in my postpartum journey, I like to do once a week. So what I love about this is we're shutting off the chaos. We're shutting off Facebook. We're shutting off the to-do list. And we're turning to our spouse or our significant other and saying, hey, can I have 20 minutes for me? And I was scrolling Instagram the other day, and I read a quote by Barbara Stanny. Does anyone know Barbara Stanny? No? Look her up, she's really good. But Barbara was saying self-care is really a practice of growing in our self-worth. Self-care is really a practice of growing in our self-worth, and I'll touch on that a little bit deeper in a moment. So I had to learn to actually ask and say to my husband, like, hey, is it okay if I take an hour, especially now as a new mom? But what I want to touch on here with this idea of taking some time for yourself once a week, I want to share with you some safety tips with oils and your bath, okay? So we've heard a lot today about the science and how pure and potent these oils are, so less is definitely more. What I would recommend is 2 to 3 drops in either 1 cup of milk, so the oils will bind to the fat in the milk, or a carrier oil, something like jojoba oil, coconut oil, almond oil. Then you're going to pour it into your bath water. This is going to eliminate any skin sensitivity, okay? So I got here, as you can see from this photo, dark chocolate regularly makes its way into my weekly bath as well. Am I pointing this the right thing, Jared? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. We're good. We're good. So, I'm a certified bath junkie. So here are some of my favorite blends for you. If you're feeling overwhelmed, Serenity is a great oil to turn to in the bath. I love the book Emotions in Essential Oils. If you don't have that, pick that up. It talks about what's happening energetically, emotionally, spiritually, with the different properties behind the oils, the symbolism behind it, which I love. So if you're looking to grow in that intuitive aspect as well, you want to pick up that book. But it talks about that if you're feeling overburdened, if you're feeling, maybe you have lots of new responsibilities in your life. Maybe you have a new baby, okay? Serenity's great. If you're feeling tense, Aromatouch. Aromatouch is doTERRA's signature massage blend. So if you're feeling tense or achy, you're gonna reach there. If you're feeling emotional, 2 drops of geranium mixed with 1 drop of balance. Geranium is a heart oil. Geranium is a heart oil, so try that. And if you want to relax deeper, we've got lots of different options for you. We don't always have to feel stressed to take time for ourselves. So lavender, liang liang, whisper, frankincense, peace blend, or Roman chamomile. I want to touch on peace essential oil since that's my topic today. This is from doTERRA's emotional aromatherapy line. It's in a base of fractionated coconut oil. We've got vetiver, so that's your rooting, right? That's your roots. We've got lavender, liang liang, frankincense, clary sage, marjoram. Has anyone ever had a bath with marjoram? Awesome.
It's the best.
Awesome. Labdanum and spearmint, which gives it just a little bit of sweetness, okay? So apply to promote feelings of peace, reassurance, and contentment. To calm an upset or restless child, you can apply to the bottoms of the feet. And I just added a little affirmation in there. If anyone feels like self-care is an area of your life that you need to step into, but it feels hard or you feel some resistance, this is something you can practice. It's safe for me. It's safe for me to experience peace, joy. I love scheduling in massage as well, so I just wanted to add this in. If you guys have been using oils for a while, this might be not new to you, but just stick with me for a second. Aromatouch again if you're feeling achy or tense. Serenity to relax deeper. Deep blue if you're looking for a deeper release. Okay? And cypress, many people don't know this, is actually very detoxifying and great for circulation. And I think a slide got skipped. So I talked about point number 1. So we're doing 6 self-care practices to inspire more peace. Number 1 is your weekly detox bath. Number 2 is to schedule it in. I had a pretty slide with a picture of my schedule. So one of the things I do is I schedule my self-care in advance. So in the first of every month, I go in and I add in date night with my husband. I add in a massage, usually 2 or 3 per month. That might feel pretty edgy for some of you, but sit with that. And Sundays are my rest day. So Sundays, I block it off I've been doing this for the past 6 weeks. Sundays, usually my husband and I either go visit my dad or we go and visit my in-laws in Strathroy, Ontario, and I leave my cell phone at home. The first time I did this, I almost had a heart attack. But I just feel like these attachments we have to the online world today can be a little bit chaotic, right? So I do this every Sunday. I shut it off, I turn it off, I let it go. And it's incredible how I feel starting my week Monday morning. So that ties into tip number 3. 6 self-care practices to inspire more peace. Knowing when to shut it down. Knowing when to shut it down. As a very passionate business owner, it can be really hard for me to turn it off. Does anyone else struggle with this? And then we realize it's time to turn it off when we're burnt out or, we start to pick up a cold. So there's a few ways I do this. The first picture is me taking a nap with my daughter on Sundays. So every Sunday we nap. And the second picture is bedtime. My husband and I do bedtime together. And it's something we're really trying to stick with, certain routines throughout the day. It can be so easy to say, okay, you go take this, and then I'm gonna go do this. And then you take on that with Vera, and then I'm gonna go do this. But we've really been trying to create certain things that we do together as a family so we don't lose that. And then the third is exercise. How many of you get ideas for your business or, I don't know, if you're in the corporate world, maybe you get ideas, or maybe you, as a mom, get ideas for your meal planning during the week or something when you're exercising. Does that ever happen to anyone? Yes, I'm seeing hands. So you're out for a run or you're doing something, and why is that happening? It's because there's this blood flow coming through you as you're exercising. You're breathing deeply. We detoxify our body through our exhale. That's why I had us meditate at the start of this. And so sometimes our greatest ideas and aha moments can come to us when we're shutting it down, which is why it's so important. So I've been really practicing this when I exercise as well. I don't bring my cell phone with me on the treadmill, otherwise I start working. Involve and inspire your family. 6 self-care practices to inspire peace. This is my favorite. Involve and inspire your family. So the first picture there of my daughter, she's watching me fill my supplement holder with Lifelong Vitality Pack. And I know she's 4.5 months old, but I feel like there's a part of her that understands. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, they don't understand words, but they're watching. And so I will talk to her and I will say, this is mommy, getting her vitamins and minerals. And I have noticed as a new mom that there's an energy shift. When I'm present and when I am involving them and just talking out loud about what I'm doing, she calms down. It's like she's almost interested, okay? The middle photo is my niece Eva. When I first started my self-care journey, I used to hide. When I quit the police force and I started practicing yoga and then teaching yoga and then learning about digestion and all these different things, I used to hide a little bit of my shine, the vibrancy that was coming out, because I didn't want to make anyone else feel uncomfortable. Can anyone relate to that? So I would go camping with my family, and instead of really stepping into a graceful ownership around the woman I have stepped into and the health that I've worked really hard to create, I would kind of hide. I would want to turn on my crystal lamp in the corner and put my oil diffuser on and get out and meditate in the morning. But everyone else was in the corner, drinking their coffee with cream and sugar, and I was like, I'll just have a coffee with cream and sugar too, even though I don't really do that anymore. So that was actually affecting my peace. And so I actually had a beautiful conversation one day with my brother-in-law, and many of you I know will be able to relate to this, because if you're in this room, I know you're on a deep wellness journey and you're shifting, and it might feel uncomfortable for you if you're shifting, and maybe some people in your life are maybe not quite there yet, but it's not our job to pull them there. It's our job to lead by example, and then what naturally happens to them, they're gonna wanna step into that too, right? So my brother-in-law said to me one day, Jer, I feel like you're hiding a bit. He called me on it. And I said, you're right. And so I made this commitment to myself to really just shine brighter. humbly, but to shine brighter. And so the middle picture is me at my in-laws' house, and I just stop, drop in yoga all the time now. And they start stepping all over me, and they want to do yoga too. And now, every year when we go camping, my whole family, well, not my whole family, but a lot of them start rolling out the yoga mats, and they want to do yoga too. And they ask for the essential oil for the bee sting that just happened over at the pool. And so I realized that by really stepping into that graceful ownership, I'm inspiring many more people and really enhancing my peace along the way. The third picture is me holding my daughter in front of a mirror in our home. And I started doing affirmations with her. So I hold her in front of the mirror and I say things like, I am confident, and she smiles. And I say things like, I am kind, and she smiles. And when I first started this exercise, my intention was to inspire her and to give her tools, even though she's 4.5 months old, but I'm gonna keep doing it because I feel like young women need these tools in our world today, yes? And as I started doing it day in and day out, I realized it was actually helping me too. So how can you involve and inspire your family a bit along your wellness journey? Number 5, so again, 6 self-care practices to inspire peace. Appreciating our surroundings. We can get so caught up in the hustle and bustle of life today. I was so stressed out driving here this morning. Toronto stresses me out. I live just outside of Milton, Ontario, if you're from the area here, so about an hour outside of Toronto in the country. And so anytime I come here, I feel like I'm gonna run someone over and the traffic, and anyways. What I want to talk to you about here is this idea of appreciating our surroundings, because I feel like when we're in the chaos, when we're in reaction in our life, I've been talking with my oil team a lot about this, that's when we lose our peace. And so I said earlier, my dad is here watching me speak for the first time, and this is a picture of him and my brother and I growing up. And growing up, my parents were divorced, and my dad would pick us up by what age, like 5 maybe, every other weekend. And he would drive. He lived here because of his job. He had to stay here, but he would drive 3-4 hours down the 401 to come and see us. And most often he would turn around and drive all the way back just to spend 2 days with us. And he would do that every other weekend. And those 2 days were the most peaceful, joyful, happy moments of my entire week. And if I look back and reflect on what cultivated that peace, it was a simple gratitude and appreciation for that time we had together. He had a small apartment in Mississauga, and it was nothing special to look at. Single dad. I still remember showing up, and he would have books laid out all across his ugly, ripped old sofa. And he had these really ugly old TV trays, right, from Papa that were from 1938. But I didn't care as an 8-year-old girl. I just remember feeling so much joy in the simple moments that we shared together. There was no cell phones, there was no, there was really no agenda. It was like, hey, what do you want to do now? What do you want to do now? What do you want to do now? And I realized what was happening in those moments was really a tension of what's going to give us peace and joy now? What's going to give us peace and joy now? And I've been really, as I step into my role as a mom, trying to come from that place. What's going to give us peace and joy now? Not that we, just stop working, because I get we have to do that, but so appreciating your surroundings. So this is what I've been striving to do. So thanks, Dad. This is a picture of just my husband at bath time, and just taking in those, it's just silly, everyday, beautiful moments, right? Which, if we're constantly on overdrive, we're losing that. We're losing that. My number 1 essential oil to come back to presence, hands down. Anyone know what it is? Breathe. Easy air. I use Breathe every single day because it reminds me to start my day just like we started this session, with breath, because our breath is where we find that presence. Our breath is where we find that connection to what is going to bring me peace right now, what is going to bring me joy right now. And number 6 is practice stillness. Practice stillness. If you're brand new to like a meditation practice, if it totally freaked you out, what I just did at the beginning of this session, try it. Yogaglow.com is a really great resource. You can download so many free meditations today. One of the ways, if we look back to how I started this session, I said essential oils will help you grow and flex an intuitive knowing in your life, right? One of the ways I do this, and I apply self-care in my life as a mom, is I do something called an intuitive grocery run. Has anyone ever done this? I'm gonna give you the lowdown. So I basically say to my husband, Mama needs an hour, and I put breathe on my chest and some peace behind my ears, and I go in the car in silence just to practice stillness, just to connect, and I go to the grocery store, and just like I do with my essential oils, when I go to the box and I'm like, which one is calling me? I say a little prayer before I go into the store, I legit do this, and I say, what foods does my body need? And sometimes I am a little bit more structured and I will do meal planning for the week, but I will literally just go in and say, what's calling me? Try this, you guys, it's amazing. And then you just kind of walk around and it's peaceful and you look, oh, that orange is really calling me. Colors will stand out to you. That's what happens when you start to step into this more intuitive place in your life. Things start to stand out to you and you're like, I need that, my body needs that. And that's how you know you're really stepping deeper and deeper into your power, your wellness journey, okay? Other ways you can practice stillness, yoga. If you've got 4 or 5 kids, do what you have to do. Go into your pantry with an oil for 10 minutes, okay? Get creative. And then I would just leave you with this. When I first started this journey of really stepping deeper into this place of peace in my life, I would come back to this question. Our emotions are our guide. How we feel tells a story. So I would literally do this. What does my heart want me to do now? What does my heart want me to do now? What does my body want me to do now? What oil is calling me right now? And then as you start to, if you don't, you will know what oils you need in the moment, which oils you don't. You'll become more confident in a teacher of this if you are an educator with doTERRA, and you'll really start to step into that whole health vibrancy in your life, okay? That's it. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your